Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie, and my partner's name is Ofelia, and this is our counter storytelling part 2 presentation. So the person that we interviewed was my mom, and her name is Maria Leticia Torres. She was born on February 9th, 1967, at Cantabria, Michoacan. Her parents are Raquel and Ramon Garcia. She moved to the US in April of 1991, and she lived in Michoacan for about 37 years. And her family, well, her parents, she actually had 11 siblings. I just don't know what number she is, but she did have a pretty big family. And her parents are still alive, thankfully. My grandpa is 91 and my grandma is 90, which are her parents. So, what are her connections to Michoacan, Mexico? So her connections to Michoacan, Mexico are so much alike as to what she used to do when she would live in Mexico. So throughout her time here in the US, she still does the things in which she grew up with. And some examples are cooking common foods such as tamales, pozole, tacos, capirotada, nopales, birria, chivo de pollo, um, birria de pollo or birria de chivo. All these foods were their comfort food, in which her mom used to make back in Mexico, and it's just a thing that has followed through with her. Other things in which how she connects to Mexico and the U.S. is by celebrating special occasions that they would celebrate back in Mexico, such as El Día de los Reyes, el 12 de diciembre, el Día del Niño, and other celebrations in which we still do now. Another one is El Día de los Muertos. So Michoacan versus the US in California, which is where we live. Having I feel like the difference is like my mom and my dad like have to both work in order to like I guess be successful here in the US, in which in Mexico like the guy just works. So it's like the living situation, it's like it costs more to live here in the US than it is to live in Mexico. In Mexico you really don't have nothing much to pay, and here in the US obviously you have rent, bills, food, clothing, and all these other things that add up, in which sometimes requires both parents to work full-time or even multiple jobs in order to have like a good life here in the US, which sucks, but that's how it is. And another different thing is like food is cooked so much differently in Mexico than it is here in the US. Like my mom obviously cooks kind of the same, but like the way that it's like physically cooked in Mexico is different from here. Like in Mexico, my grandma, the tortillas, like she had like a big old thing outside, on hogon, like with lumbre, and like the way that she would like masar la masa is like in this big like cement thing, and it's like different things that they use in Mexico compared to how they use here. And here you just have like the máquina pasa tortillas, and over there it's like completely different. And also like the way transportation works, like when I went to Mexico, like the difference is that in Mexico like you take flechas, which is like the bus that's on that picture. Flechas, people ride bikes and walking, like that's how transportation is mainly used in Mexico. Like yeah, there's cars, but like you'll mainly see flechas and buses, bicicletas like being used in order to get to places.
Michoacan culture and lifestyle that she still practices is she practices many Michoacan cultures and customs, such as she still practices her faith, which is she's Catholic, and the same way that she did in Michoacan, she explained that her practices with faith are the same as in Michoacan that it is in the US. She also celebrates a lot of Mexican holidays, such as Dia de los Muertos and Mexican Independence Day and all the other ones we mentioned before. And she still is able to feel that sense of pride for Michoacan and Mexico as her home as a whole. Um, the most important practice, though, that she practices is her importance to family. A lot of people in Michoacan have such an importance to family and doing things with family and cooking with family, going to church with family, celebrating with family, the celebration of family. They put a lot of importance in that. And she shared with us how much she enjoys um, and enjoyed getting to share that time in Michoacan with her family. Changes in Michoacan since Maria was there. Maria explained that life in Michoacan when she was there was very calm and family and religion oriented. It was, again, all about like family and culture. But as of lately, there has been a lot of changes, a lot of more safety issues, and people have grown a little bit more impoverished. There is insecurity in finding work in certain places, not everywhere, but in certain places there is. And there's also a lot of drug cartel and just like selling of drugs and crime, and that brings other dangers such as kidnappings, shootings, bribery, murder, and lower quality of life as a whole. And has the US changed Maria? And I would say, judging from her answers and judging from her connection to Michoacan, the answer is no, it hasn't changed her in the sense of like culture and what she finds important in life. Um, I know that she has said she always tries to hold on to Michoacan and her shared beliefs of tradition, celebration, and religion, and continues to include aspects of her past into her present life in California. Although she said she's had to adapt to differences in the U.S., like mentioned before, she had people like women have to work here, and it's a lot more different having to adapt from coming from Michoacan, because in the pueblos it's a lot smaller, and you're able to walk a lot more places. But she still has stayed loyal to who she is as someone who comes from Michoacan, and she upholds Michoacan customs and passes on information of her home and what it was like living there to her family and future generations. And the same way she passed on information about her life in Michoacan to us. And yeah, and these are the sources that we used.